welcome to the SVG-TV news for Thursday, September 16th. I'm Khalil Kato with the details. 54 new positive COVID-19 cases were reported from 422 samples processed on Tuesday, resulting in a positivity rate of 12.8%. There were also 6 new recoveries noted over the reporting period. 269 cases are currently active and 13 persons with COVID-19 have died. 2,613 cases of COVID-19 and 2,331 recoveries have been recorded in St. Vincent and the Grenadines since March 2020. Health authorities say in view of the confirmed presence of the Delta, Mu and Gamma variants in the country and the significant increase in the number of new infections, transmissions and severe COVID-19 disease, strict enforcement and compliance with all protocols and recommendations by everyone is strongly recommended. According to the health authorities, the correct and consistent use of masks, avoidance of crowds, physical distancing, proper hand sanitizing, and immunization with available vaccines have all been proven to significantly reduce the risk of getting infected, getting sick, and or dying from the COVID-19 virus. And with SVG recording 3 of the COVID-19 variants and the spike in infections, Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves on radio yesterday told the unvaccinated that they should blame yourselves if loved ones die. The Prime Minister said that the spike in cases was noticed last week and has steadily climbed to more than 200, and people should take note of the situation and be more responsible.
Let us be logical people. Let us work together as a community. And if you don't take it, I promise you that I'll get the vaccines for you. I have an abundance. We have outlets. You don't take it, and then you get sick, and the family dying, you're going to blame Ralph, you know. But I'm not so worried about that. Blame who you want to blame. But remember, I tell you, you don't take it and one of your loved ones get very sick. Blame yourself, eh? Blame you who ain't take it. Blame you who give them in their homes or your neighbors and so forth.
The Prime Minister said everyone has a choice whether or not to get vaccinated, but the better choice right now is to get vaccinated. And he urged everyone to do so with urgency.
Let's line up from today and start take this vaccine now. Please. I know my partner, Enric Rose, I know you're right. He says sometimes he feel it for me when I say please, but I have to say please. You know? I have to say please. Take the vaccine. And you believe you're young and you're strong? Well, you can get it and you can get very sick.
SVG continues to feel the impacts of COVID-19, and according to the Prime Minister, human resources are usually stretched, especially those on the front line, pointing out that the police recently felt the strain when one officer contracted the virus.
When just over 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, one person at the Kittels police station got COVID. They had to test. They sent home all the other 13 in home quarantine and test them. Around for 5 days, whatever the number of days. But to move, the commission had to move 14 other people down there. If that is replicated all about, the police wouldn't have the time to deal with the usual serious criminal activities, including people trying to break into your house, to thief, to kill, to rape. Come on.
The Ministry of Health this week reported that the country's 13th COVID-19 death, a 41-year-old woman, was unvaccinated. The percentage for herd immunity has increased from 75% to 90% for SVG and other Caribbean countries. This is according to the Prime Minister, who said that they were informed of the increase by the Caribbean Public Health Agency, CARPHA, earlier this week.
On Monday, Dr. Joyce St. John of CARPHA told us in CARICOM that we need to get 90% immunity because of the new variants. 90% of the population, before the people were talking about maybe 75. and 80. Now she's saying that because of Delta and Gamma variants, we need to go to 90%.
The World Health Organization's data indicates that SVG has just about 11.4% of its population fully vaccinated. The Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, the RSVGPF, today reported that some members of staff at 2 police stations operated by the organization have been affected by COVID-19. The police force said these officers have been placed on quarantine and in isolation as the cases necessitated. The departments and stations affected are the police garage and the Rose Hall police station, which are closed to the public until further notice. Residents of Rose Hall and surrounding areas are advised to lodge reports or complaints at the Spring Village or Chateaubriand police stations. The RSVGPF assures the general public that the requisite measures and protocols have been implemented throughout the organization to contain the spread of the virus. These include wearing of masks, physical distancing, and the erection of sanitization stations and plexiglass barriers to protect the police and the public. The police force encourages the public to strictly adhere to all of the approved protocols to combat the coronavirus. And as vaccines are now available in St. Vincent and the Grenadines for children from the age of 12 to 18, Minister of Education Curtis King is encouraging parents to get their children vaccinated. King was on radio this morning speaking on the plans for the reopening of schools.
The what you call it, the Pfizer vaccine. Yeah. And we were advised, we are told, the science says that students 12 years and above can take this vaccine. So we are encouraging parents also to get their children vaccinated, because we are hearing about deaths and serious injuries to students who are under the age of 18 years.
The Education Minister said they are currently in discussion with the Ministry of Health and several education stakeholders to finalize the date for the reopening of schools.
Of necessity, we will be meeting again with the Teachers Union. But this week we have already met with the Education Advisory Board. Today, later this morning, I'm meeting with the principals of the primary and secondary schools, as well as the head of the TVET institutions. So we are having our discussions. Of course, yesterday we had guidance, really, the CMO and other officials from the Ministry of Health. So we are going on extensive consultation, and I'm sure at the end of it we would be in a position to arrive at a decision that hopefully the vast majority of persons will be comfortable with.
Minister King said that the previous recommendation from the last school term will be maintained for the face-to-face instructions, where teachers who are unvaccinated are required to be tested every 2 weeks.
Teachers will be expected to have the vaccine. In absence of not having the vaccine, teachers will be required to do tests, PCR tests, every 2 weeks. And of course, in order to be on the school compound, that the result of those tests must be negative. We can't wait. We have to be proactive. So our position is, if we are going to provide a safe and healthy environment, among the things we are stressing on is that all the protocols as outlined by the Ministry of Health must be followed by users of the compound. And we are saying teachers must get vaccinated. You don't have a vaccine, then you must be tested on a regular basis. We will foot the bill for the forced to test. Thereafter, the teachers will have to pay that bill.
Yesterday, the National Telecommunications Regulatory Commission, the NTRC, launched its 9th annual iCode 784 competition, which aims to inspire the youth through technology. Registration for the competition closes on October 8th, and participating teams will have the opportunity to win up to $5,000 EC dollars in cash prizes. Speaking at the virtual launch, Consumer and Public Relations Manager of the NTRC, Rhea Lewis, said that the competition offers a platform for persons to introduce technological visions and innovations to the world. She further outlined the main focus for this year's competition, which is the development of mobile apps and ideas that can facilitate the employment of new systems or improve existing systems in the public and private sectors of SVG.
The aim of this entire initiative is to improve the efficiency of businesses and their services and to increase their profits, which will lead to national development in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. This year, the I-Code 784 competition would run from September 15th to November 16th, 2021. The competition has 3 categories. They are the secondary idea category, the secondary mobile app category, and the open category.
Lewis further explained that the competition is open to students in secondary and tertiary institutions in SVG, as well as non-students under the age of 35.
Students from all secondary schools in St. Vincent and the Grenadines can enter all categories of the competition. It should also be noted that students entering the secondary idea and the secondary mobile app category are required to have a mentor. The role of the mentor is to guide and help the team throughout the competition. So this can be anyone who has experience or some background knowledge in IT, computer science, or development of apps. This person can be a teacher, a parent, or another trusted adult. Residents of St. Vincent and the Grenadines who do not attend a secondary school but are under the age of 35 are only eligible to enter the open category of the competition. Participants wishing to enter the secondary idea category are required to create an idea relating to a mobile application. So all you really need to have for this category is an idea for improving a service or a sector within St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The NTRC Public Relations Manager said that the dependency on mobile apps is on the increase. Hence, participants can use the competition as a stepping stone for developing the next big mobile app or idea.
Competition has 3 stages. Phase 1 begins today, and it is the launch and the registration period of the competition. The registration period officially opens today and can be carried out at our website, www.ntrc.vc. Access to registration forms would also be linked on our Facebook page and Instagram pages at NTRC SVG. The deadline for all submissions of registration forms would be on October the 8th, 2021 at 4 p.m. Phase 2 is the preliminary round. This is a judging stage of the competition, the first judging stage of the competition, and it will begin on October 19th, 2021, starting with the secondary idea category. October 20th will be the secondary mobile application category, and this phase would come to an end on October 21st with the open category presentations being judged. The top teams from all 3 categories will then progress to the finals. Phase 3 is the final stage, and this stage will take place on November 16, 2021.
Also, the NTRC has funded a cybersecurity program at the SVG Community College where students can gain an associate's degree upon completion of the program. Director of the NTRC, Apollo Knights, spoke on how the Commission is assisting the youth of SVG in app development.
Apps, you need the application itself, but you also need databases in the background, you need cloud platforms in the background to run the databases, you need security for the apps. So that's all these different factors we touch it to assist people to get into developing apps locally. We also, for the last year, offering short courses online from platforms such as Coursera and Code Academy. It's all free. It's applied to us. Once we think it's something in the line we want to do, we approve it. And we already have 32 persons complete courses in these areas over the last year. All kind of different high-tech areas to develop apps and different software applications. So this is still ongoing. We have done Wi-Fi in all the schools, so you can access the internet in the schools if you want to. We have broadband for those who can't afford it at their homes, a program for that. And we also have a program for broadband on the tablets, so you can have the access to the internet, you can do the courses.
Knights further noted that the opportunities that will be made available to persons who are developing local apps, or that should be developing apps locally.
And I think there are more opportunities coming soon, especially with the new opportunities to the digital currency. We have the Dcash locally. In the past, that was a problem in getting payments done through the apps. So that will be a good thing. We have a new project just launched through the World Bank and the government called Digital Transformation. It's a regional project. And that again allows a lot of persons to get funded to do different things, to develop apps and different applications, different services.
The Ministry of Education has issued a call for one teacher from each school to enroll in a free course on designing and developing online assessments scheduled to begin in November this year. Among other things, the course is expected to help participants distinguish, justify the use of, and manipulate different types of assessments. It will be self-paced and will run for 4 or 5 weeks from November 1st to December 10th. With the recent shift to online delivery of instruction and assessment, the Ministry of Education and the Commonwealth of Learning are partnering to provide opportunities like this for the professional development of educators. The ministry said selected teachers will form the second cohort to be trained in this area of online assessment through the Virtual University for Small States of the Commonwealth of Learning. Just a few weeks ago, 20 teachers successfully completed the training and should be now more comfortable with developing, designing, and managing assessments online or in the blended teaching environment. Teachers interested in enrolling in the course are asked to contact their principals for access to the scholarship application form or the SVG Media Education Media Unit on Facebook. The Melisiswe brothers today handed over some musical instruments to the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, which will go to the police band. Father of the Melisiswe brothers, Mark James, said this is the second year that they are donating musical instruments to the band. He said the donation is to help the police force in its quest to transform the lives of the youth of SVG through music.
We decided to partner with the police band because they do a lot of stuff in the community in terms of reaching a lot of kids who are not so fortunate, and that means a lot to us because we know that music in general can change somebody's life. They could change the trajectory of a country, and we've seen that in the life of the boys. So this is very special to us. We'll always do whatever we can. We concentrate more on winning instruments because we know that's one of the specialties, but we'll speak to the inspector to see whatever else is needed, because we do have access to other types of instruments as well.
Also speaking at the handing over ceremony was Commissioner of Police Colin John, who thanked the Melisiswe brothers and their father for their continued support to the RSVG police force.
Whenever I receive gifts, I often start by saying it is more blessed to give than to receive. Implicit in that statement is that both of the entities, the persons, they receive blessings, just that the giver receives more blessings than the person who receives. And I just want to say thanks for pouring some blessings in our direction.
Commissioner John added that the band will be happy for the instruments, noting that they will be put to good use.
We are very happy to be recipients of these items. I know that Inspector Miller is a very assertive person. He is a no-nonsense person. So I know that they will be taken care of. I also know that they will be put to good use. Currently, the police band, we are conducting some training at the Liberty Lodge Boys Training Center. Under normal circumstances, that's pre-COVID, would have had our summer program here where over 100 youngsters would have been here.
And the police force is advising the general public that the Oya police station, which was damaged by Tropical Storm Elsa, remains closed and is currently undergoing repairs by staff from the Buildings, Roads and General Services Authority, BRAGZA. Residents of Oya and the surrounding villages are, however, advised to make their reports directly to the following police officers who reside in the respective villages: Corporal 551 Mohammed Lavia, PC 64 Stephen Batiste of Oya, Corporal 705 Colin Stay, and PC 818 Devon Stay of Fancy. The RSVGPF said these officers will entertain reports from the members of the public, advise them accordingly, and forward the reports to the Sandy Bay Police Station.